I'm Professor Karen Jones, the current President of the Australian-Newzealand Society of Nuclear Medicine. Well, it's quite the story. Like many high schoolers, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and so I spoke to the careers counsellor when I was in Year 12. And he said to me, Karen, you have great interpersonal skills, you love physics, chemistry and maths. Have you considered doing radiography? And I hadn't considered radiography, but I thought it might be a good option. I did later find out that his daughter was in Year 12 and she was doing radiography. So I enrolled in the Diploma in Medical Radiation at the University of South Australia, and back in those times the first year was common for all streams of medical radiation. And I hadn't heard of nuclear medicine before. And so upon this first exposure, I really suddenly found that this was going to be the career for me, because I loved chemistry and the whole concept of patient care, computing, haematology and radiopharmacy. It was a no-brainer. So when I finished my qualification as a nuclear medicine technologist, I started work at Flinders Medical Centre, which is in the south of Australia. And I really enjoyed working as a clinical technologist. But like many avenues in life, serendipity plays a role. And I just happened to be at a function where one of my former clinical supervisors had told me about a job as a research assistant at the major teaching hospital in Adelaide. And I thought it would be a great opportunity to do some nuclear medicine research and publish some papers and go to conferences overseas. And it was meant to be a short-term situation, but I fell in love with research and I never left. And I then subsequently decided that I wanted to do a PhD, but there weren't any PhD programs for nuclear medicine technologists or any medical radiation practitioners at that time. But because I was working in a major teaching hospital linked to the University of Adelaide, I was able to speak to the postgraduate coordinator, who allowed me to enrol in a master's program, which after 1 year I was able to upgrade to a PhD, because I'd already completed a study and published a paper. I was the first technologist in Australia to complete a PhD and establish a clinical career program. So while I've been working for the last over 30 years as a clinical researcher, I've maintained my relationship to my professional society, the ANZ S&M, and maintain my registration as a clinical technologist as well. And many of my students come from a nuclear medicine background, so I'm constantly interacting with nuclear medicine technologists, and the greatest advice that I can give them is really to work with their peers. As very junior students, find a mentor, get someone that can provide you with advice, and then pay that forward when you become a senior technologist, to really take someone under your wing and provide that mentorship and look after them so that they can get the most out of their career. Well, that's a very interesting question, and I'm going to go really back to basics, because one of the things that I didn't tell you was that my research background is in gastric emptying. Now, gastric emptying measured by scintigraphy is a gold standard technique, which, unlike other areas of nuclear medicine, has not changed very much at all over the last 40 years. And so within my research field, I've utilised this technique to learn lots about gastric physiology. And so my favourite radioisotope would have to be sulfur colloid. And back in the day when I first started, it's hard to imagine that this was the case, but we used to inject live chickens with sulfur colloid, and the sulfur colloid was taken up by the Kupffer cells in the liver, and then we would execute the chicken and extract its liver, which was mashed up and minced into minced beef, and that was the test meal at the time. Very good labelling efficiency. We don't do that these days.